Thanks, Dwayne. It is a beautiful day down here tonight too, and look, can't wait to see how Adelaide come out and start this game. We saw them last week against Collingwood. They had 55 first half tackles, absolutely brilliant. They're only averaging just over 55 for a game this season, so they've absolutely came out and brained it last week. That's what I'm looking for. They finished with the 93 for the game, and Coach Sanderson loves telling his players, you've got to bring the heat. And that's what I'm looking for today, boys.
Well, you can bring the tackles, but not bring the winning of the ball, Jason, and that's the combination that they had in perfect synchronicity last week. They won the ball against Collingwood. They tackled the hell out of Collingwood, which made them turn the ball over. If they bring that double today, the Blues were in for a hell of a match.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. I guess Brenton Sanderson would just be querying, though, where has it been in the other matches? They set the benchmark last week. The trick for Adelaide is repeating it.
So Kerridge will go to Murphy, we've been told that. I suspect that maybe Gibbs will go to Dangerfield. That to me is an obvious match-up. It's a great challenge for Bryce Gibbs, who looks set to sign a 4-year deal with the Blues. He may well have gone to the opposition today, but what a chance for him to exert his influence.
And we just saw shots of Zach Tui getting into Eddie Betts as well.
Yeah, 184 games for the Blues, Eddie Betts, and welcome back to the G, Eddie. All eyes will be on you. All eyes on early clearance here. Casbolt thought he was going to get it. Dangerfield does. Gives it wide. Jenkins, arm slap free. Early momentum could be crucial. He pumps it long inside 50. We know that Walker's been back for a week. Hasn't kicked a goal yet. He kicked 4 behinds last week, but he looked in awesome form, and he gets an early chance here. I mentioned early momentum. It's been over a year since these two teams met. Way back in round 5 here last year, Carlton led by 6 goals at quarter time and won that game by 5. So early momentum to give a team hope can be critical. This is Adelaide's first game at the G this year, and this is huge for Tex as well.
You've got to get the footwear all right. He's got the fully coloured footwear, but it's a great start by the Crows. Dangerfield out of the middle. Got off the chain early.
It was here last year that he did his knee, and he can't start perfectly this afternoon. And hopefully that's not running through his mind, but I'm sure driving to the ground, he would have thought back to round 5 last year. It's been a long time back for him, but he looked good last week. Simpson not 15 to Tui, who tried to fool the umpire. Simpson, turnover, and the wrong man to give it to. Dangerfield is within range there.
You just don't expect that sort of turnover from Cade Simpson. It was the short kick that got themselves in trouble in the first place, but then he was looking to go short again when he had an opportunity to clear the 50.
And don't you hate that? If you're Bryce Gibbs, all you want to do is lock down on this bloke, and when somebody fluffs a kick and it goes straight into the arms of the bloke you're trying to lock down on, that is a killer, particularly if this one goes through and sails through the middle of the big sticks post high. A long run up.
Yeah, we won't tell you he's the best player in the competition because Gary Ablett is that, but there's a few in the lineup for number 2, and this man is one of them, and he misses to the near side. Just 2 games they play here, the Adelaide Crows this year. Home and away season, of course, could be back here in the final, so they need to settle in.
Natalia's on Henderson. Rutten's gone to Casbolt.
Yep.
White, who was allowed to play. The Blues had an investigation into an incident during the week for him, but all clear. Rowe, little 1-2 back again. Jamison over the head of Rutten, who thought he was a chance there. Talia down to McLean, who's in some good form, to Thomas and Brown in a race. Thomas used body. Brown went ball and boundary line. That'll do.
And with those matchup, that leaves Hardigan picking up Waite. So that's going to be a real interesting matchup. Waite starting deep here.
Goal-kicking firepower for both teams. Henderson, Waite, Menzel, Thomas, inside 50 virtually for the Blues. And we know who's down the other end. Jenkins, Walker, Betts and Podsiadly in the forward line for Adelaide.
Yaron's a spare across that half-back line. He's just playing a kick behind the plays, a floater, and
advantage paid here. Gibbs, is that 15? Gee, they were lenient there. Menzel, well, is that the extra advantage you get? Play on advantage, you get an opportunity to get on the end of a 14-metre pass.
Well, we've got an advantage over the umpires because from a distance you can see that the mowing strips are 10 metres wide, and that one went the length of a mowing strip or the width of a mowing strip.
Kicked 3 goals, 2 last week. He has also been in good form, Troy Menzel. From outside the 50, it's a little astray. Has it got the range? Just
Big
off
battle
hands.
that one. He's on Brodie Smith, who the coach pumped up prior to the game. Jason saying he is perhaps the most improved player at the Crows.
Yeah, it's a good rap, isn't it? And he said he's certainly going to get a lot more attention.
Yench, who's also been a big improver every game this year after being in and out the last couple of years of his career. To Jenkins. Good use of the body by Rowe. Murphy. Gibbs. Everett. White. He heads wider. Murphy can go. Murphy can go if he wants to Thomas. Got down low. Hardigan tries to hold him up. Menzel lead into the pocket. It's in his direction, and he's got it.
And this is the great skill of this young bloke coming forward. He's a good crummer, but he can also play as a small full forward. A bit similar to Eddie Betts in many ways. I think Eddie has always been underestimated as the small full forward.
And Brodie Smith, the man that Brenton Sampson was wrapping up, is playing on him.
Yep.
And Menzel's been able to lead him to the ball twice.
He is a South Australian, of course. Central Districts tucked up against the boundary line. Looks good. Is good.
Great start to the Blues, and it all emanated from defence. Murphy worked really hard. He's got a tough job today. Sam Kerridge is a star as a defender. He charged into defence, got the first handball, whipped it back to a spare player, and then on the rebound, it ends up in the hands of Menzel. And there you see him. He did the turnaround. 180-degree lead back and forward, and this is a very good conversion. It's amazing accuracy. It can kill you, or it can really put the best print on good work forward. But the Blues have gone forward once and kicked one decent shot, and it's the reverse for the Crows.
And you saw that big discrepancy, uncontested possessions. That's a huge leap, but no mark by Doherty. Buckley hammers it wide. Ellard makes a contest. Another Blue playing against his old team. Jacobs, of course. It's not just Eddie Betts. McKay, Rutten. Oh. Lead comes. Ignores Martin. He goes longer. And Walker drifts in front. 2 Walkers down there, of course. 1 for each. And Adelaide's Walker tries to slip a handball out, but to Gibbs. He's coming off a 38 possession game last week, so he's in hot form. Bryce Gibbs, and he's had it a couple of times early. Talia to the boundary deliberately, but it's well disguised.
And while that was happening, Paddy Dangerfield came off for a spell. The man that's running with him is Dennis Armfield, and he's gone all the way. He has come off for a spell as well.
There's a real finals feel here at the MCG. Twilight game, good conditions, sun fading on another beautiful day in Melbourne, and everybody's been waiting for this. McKay to Podsiadly. Tried the clever knock on. Sloan knocks it further on. Eddie Betts gets his first chance. Gets a handball to another ex-Blue. To Thompson. To Walker.
Yeah, well, he made the fatal mistake of appealing for a free kick. The umpires all season have just turned a blind eye to anybody who is trying to con them. And good luck to them, because I think that's fair enough.
Hey boys, what's the footy here? Thanks, guys.
Jacobs again about to go for this one.
Here's Kerridge doing that job on Mark Murphy.
Sloan back to right. Too far out to score. Tries to pinpoint a pass to Walker. Jenkins, the flick on. Martin lurking. 3 Blues around him. Yaron, one of them, left it behind. Still a chance. Doherty mocks up his mess. Outside of the boot was good. Everett over the top. Casbolt has to go back to go forward. Kick smothered. It's been played at a hot pace right now. Both teams giving it their all, as you'd expect, given how much is on it. Holding the ball free.
But you'd have to be impressed, Jason, with the numbers that Carlton get into the ball defensively. They've launched their first goal from that half-back line. That one should have been another. They just butchered it in transition.
Jenkins on the march. Good pass.
Beautiful kick, wasn't it? Just weighted perfectly. The Carlton fans not happy with that holding the ball free kick. But we've seen, in particular this weekend, I think the umpires have been really looking for those players caught at the bottom of the pack, not making what they consider to be a genuine attempt to get it out.
Well, he's Adelaide's leading goal kicker despite missing a couple of games. Had to earn his spot back in this team with a couple of SANFL games to start 2014. But he's got 3 bags of 4 goals this year. From just inside 50, it's drifting a little, and it's drifted a lot.
Well, they'll be ruining these opportunities, I suspect, Carlton. Adelaide, they've had some really good opportunities. 4 inside 50s to 2, but unable to convert at the moment.
And they haven't been half chances. They've been dead set up shots.
And the people that you'd want kicking for goal, Dangerfield, Walker, and also Jenkins.
Taken to the line and get a ball in. Nick Malthouse. These two teams weren't far apart last year, just 1 win between them at the end of the home and away season. Carlton, the lucky loser, of course, getting into the 8. And there's not much between them this year either. Simpson. Turnover, Laird.
Well read, Laird. Excellent defensive work.
He got paid that mark. I don't think he held it long enough, but umpire said he did, and he was a lot closer than I. Blues fans didn't necessarily think so. Talia. Yench. To Walker. Front spot. Hands on it. Carlton's Walker. Jumps on it. They jump on him. Or it could be ball. It could be in the back. It's going to be tricky. Half of one, 6 of the other. It's a ball up.
Tell you what, he is very close to taking a couple of strong contested marks, Taylor Walker. He's got in front. He's got his hands to a couple of them. If the Blues defenders aren't careful, he's going to grab a couple of big marks and get a couple of goals on the board early here.
Doherty outside of the boot. Hardigan about to pounce. Cameron, whose debut last week was sensational, to Podsiadly to set it up. Kick smothered. Simpson. They can reload the Blues. Ellard heads in the Thomas direction. He's going to go and fetch it. Good battle. And Smith takes it to the line.
Good pace, Brodie Smith.
Yep.
Just went straight past Dale Thomas. We've seen Andreas Everett used in a number of roles this year. He's doing some good run with jobs, and he looks to have the job on Rory Sloane today.
And not surprisingly, Sloane such a pivotal part of this combination.
Warnock tried. Eddie Betts just off the bench as well. Floats one in the Jenkins direction. Pods made the contest.
Well done.
Tui, was that in the back? He's been mauled.
No,
he didn't have prior opportunity, and he was taken to the ground. Had to be a ball up. Yeah, as soon as they weren't prepared to pay high, that had to only be a ball up, surely. Warnock, Gibbs slipped into a high one. In fact, he slipped so badly he was completely missed. Betts, Podsiadly all had a piece of it. Simpson bangs it clear. It'll be coming back. Laird
Positioned himself well, Rory Laird. He was the loose behind the ball.
Brown.
Gee, he never went
Off the mark.
and yet that probably should have been a 50-metre penalty.
So
Well, they
Yench to
down in the
Hardigan.
middle, but they continue to go wide.
Martin.
Just haven't got the chemistry right at the moment between the Talls, the Crows.
Douglas to right, tucked up against the boundary. Centres, Kerridge.
Good kick.
And he needs to nail this for Adelaide's fortunes, you'd think.
It's interesting, Mark Murphy was looking around and then he's holding his arms up, but you know, there is a time, even though you're getting tagged, you've got to switch to the defensive mode, and he became the dangerous player, Kerridge.
Are you a fan of the 3 Talls, Jason? Because you play 3, you lose a little bit of run.
You do. You do. I think we've seen instances like the Eagles where the Talls are very good at putting defensive pressure on. That's what you must demand of your Talls. They've got to be able to be involved when the ball's on the ground. Oh, and he gives it to Murphy after kicking it.
Adelaide get there first, and they're in front.
Yeah, they're an extraordinary case, the Eagles. Darling's ability to run and tackle and get ground ball, to me, makes him a tall midfielder playing in the forward line. He's an extraordinary player.
We've got a free kick here. Free kick, and it's going Carlton's way.
Grabbed him around the neck.
That's silly. I think James Podsiadly might be the one that grabs someone around the neck, and you don't want to give away clearances in the middle of the ground like that. It's got to go to the ruckman, the free kick.
Yeah. So they're just trying to work that out now. Casbolt.
Never quite worked out why it always went to the ruckman. Played in the middle.
That's a very good point. It's not in the rule book. Martin.
Well, it probably stops all the arguing from the three midfielders who all want a possession.
Holding the ball. You'd think you want it to your best delivery man, though. You're right. Laird sends it in the Podsy Adelaide direction. Thumped clear. Everett.
Well read.
Simpson. Murphy. Armfield. Hands it off. Yaron. Spears that and just past weight. Tried to keep it alive.
I like the role of Andreas Everett there. He led up and he made sure he got used, and then we saw Armfield lead up on Dangerfield as well. Here's where Podsiadly just went too high. You can see Andrew Walker pointing to his neck.
He went the pressure point. Pity Juddy couldn't play this afternoon, by the way, and they do have a few out still. The Blues, Juddy hopefully back next week. They play another big game next week against the Brisbane Lions at the Gabba. They win this, and next week they're back in contention, and Adelaide likewise. They get a win here, back in contention. It's critical. Thomas. Yaron.
Great tackle.
Off the deck, Gibbs.
The young Cameron was right on Yaron at that stoppage, and luckily for him, because he was away, and it was a great close-down tackle. Let's have a look at it. There he is, right beside him. Excellent work from a bloke in his second game.
He laid some huge tackles in his debut last week. Casbolt, the secondary flick on. Sloan took the heat. Kerridge lays another tackle. 15 players around this ball. Fighting hard. Gibbs gets it clear. Simpson has some space. Shut down by Betts. Turnover. Yench. Wobbles it clear. Talia, Henderson. Race. Bouncing ball. Bounce kindly for Henderson. Talia corrals him reasonably well. He finds Tui. Menzel. One-on-one. Half held. Fully held according to the umpire. Will line up from the top of the square.
That's pressure, Dwayne.
Yep, exactly right.
Get the ball in quickly. Defenders start to get nervous. They panic. They grapple.
I think it's also the pressure of the fact that he's led him to the ball a couple of times and got it. So all of a sudden, Brodie Smith feels like, hey, my bloke's getting it. I've got to really lock down on him. Just overzealous in putting the arms around him.
It's been a fantastic contest to watch so far. For another lead change. And a casual celebration.
Good start to the Blues. They're dealing with the heat. And I've got to say, Jason, not quite as much heat from Adelaide as this time last week, but that wasn't an exceptional level. It's a question whether they can maintain a consistency of effort. And particularly with the Blues up and about, they look pretty impressive at the present time as well.
Made the most of it there. Troy Menzel just made sure the umpire could see, and he locked one of the arms of Brodie Smith.
Carlton players, of course, wearing black armbands for Wes Lofts, premiership player, chairman of selectors, long-time power broker. Passed away this week. From the ball up, the restart. Jenkins. Right. Fend off was good. Dangerfield just couldn't break free. Cameron the knock on, goes and gets his own ball. Couldn't quite at full tilt, still does. Walker. Jenkins. Wrapped up, dropped it.
Geez, they're running well here, the Blues.
Thomas, not quite. Keeps his feet. Nudged out, and it was a little in the backage.
Late decision.
Yeah, the crowd helped.
He had a good look at that, and the 19th man got it across the line.
Yes, Adelaide not the only team with a 19th man. Good crowd in here at the MCG. This is the ground that Carlton will play as a home ground next year. They want to make the move, play the majority of their games here. McKay, turnover to Yaron, and they're away again. Walker goes back to Rowe, who would know a few of these Adelaide players well, had a season in the SANFL. Hope we can get back into the big time. To Tui, should bounce. McLean.
Good defence. Potts has got to push up on his man, and they're going to have to go extra wide to get out.
Rowe. Murphy. Back to McLean. And missed him.
Oh, dangerous turnover.
Sloane gives it up. Douglas tried to size it up and, well, Walker got his full palm on it, dumped it. Buckley, Warnock, Rowe, and this will work for the Blues. Ellard back, Tui, not a lot to go too long. Probably going to have to go short. He just chips it wide, hoping for Henderson.
There was an unfortunate error there by the Crows. There's a couple of people going for the same ball.
Did he just? I thought he just misjudged it, Taylor Walker. It looked like it could have been a regulation chess mark. Almost.
Yeah, I think he was concerned about his teammate that was coming across the line as well.
Back into play. Warnock was clever. Dangerfield, the pick and go. And it is one of his fortes. He's got a few. Right. Laird. Didn't necessarily need to go back to Smith, but it works anyway. Rutten. Back to Laird. Now Wright can go. Maybe beyond his range. Centering kick. Betts under it. Not quite. Tui just got an arm in. Thompson dropped into a high tackle and milked it beautifully.
Gee, drew that because he slid straight to ground, Scotty Thompson. Knew he was going to get collared. He slid to ground to pull up really quickly and was hoping that the tackler would probably go straight over the top of him. But now he gets an opportunity. You can see him, he just puts the brakes on. He's looking to slide underneath and give the hand pass away.
Yeah, the first arm was there, and I think he felt it and realised, I'll go down now.
Left arm over the shoulder from Bryce Gibbs. That's going to be a good matchup too, those two.
He's averaging a career high 26 possessions a game this year, Scott Thompson, so had 30 again last week. Putting another fantastic season together, and this is for the lead back. Cameron Mooney.
Well, guys, we spoke about the tackling pressure that Adelaide brought last week. 55 in that first half with Adelaide side, but they've only got 10 so far in this quarter. The pressure isn't quite there. The interesting one I'm looking at too, Jace, is Laird playing as that spare man back at the moment for the Crows. He's only at 178 centimetres, sorry, so it's very unusual you see a guy that height playing as a spare man.
Yeah, you're right, Moons. He's not your typical intercept marker, is he? So it'll be interesting to see whether he can have an impact and be that quick rebounder for him.
Combination of errors there. Hardigan just had to take the mark. He went with a double fister, and Thompson put the bumper bar up.
So Brown in board. Adelaide have lifted their work rate in the last couple of minutes.
No one ahead.
Douglas, he's got Kerridge. If it's lace out, he could go just in front. Jamison, dangerous. Kerridge.
All the key forwards were caught up the ground, so it was Kerridge that was actually working back off Mark Murphy. So, like the way he's trying to tackle this job of curtailing Murphy, I reckon he's got the right attitude. Kerridge, he's trying to be used whenever he possibly can and make sure that he makes Murphy accountable for him.
We're into time on. It's been played at a hot pace. Douglas centering kick. Good spot to hit. Walker's under it. Hand on it. Back of the pack. Cameron. Not quite. Just slung. Eddie Betts tried to be clever. Wasn't quite. And Tui sends it wide towards Menzel. He's in good form.
He is.
And he generally delivers the ball, which is something that his teammates are having difficulty doing tonight. Even with these 15-metre chip kicks, if you've got an average of 56, which is it's at the present time, you are really giving the ball away too often.
Henderson sees Thomas.
Everett's pushed long.
It sits up a little, and it's Rutten's ball. Too easy. Everett was, as you said, Jared, spare for a while. Kick had to be better. Jacobs to Sloane.
Well, it's been the main problem for Carlton all season. They can move the ball well when everything's on song, but their foot skills have let them down so many times.
Rowe to Everett. Had to wait and thumped toward the boundary. It's actually no surprise to see Everett putting together a pretty good season. He did play 20 games, including 3 finals for a top-class unit in Sydney last year. So no surprise he's putting together a good season at the Blues. There's Eddie Betts.
Kept Rory Sloane to just 3 possessions at this stage.
Tell you, Jason, the matchup they'd be happy with at the moment, Carlton, would be Henderson and Talia. Henderson's got away from him a couple of times. He's only got the 2 possessions so far, but there's been a couple of kicks that have just been kicked out too far in front of him. But he's got 3 or 4, 5 metres on Talia most times he's led, so his work rate's been outstanding.
We talk about Carlton missing a few targets by foot. They're both kicking at a very poor efficiency rate. Carlton at 55%, Adelaide 58%.
I reckon
Wait, takes off, runs to 48. Not quite, and he's maybe a little rusty. Been out with a back injury, back in for the Blues today.
Crows are about 15%. Inside forward 50, Jason. Their shots at goal have been horrendous, and Jared White hasn't helped Carlton's stat there.
Stay clear, guys, stay clear. Fire.
McKay. Brown. Again, not a lot to go to. Hardigan's the only real option he had. He used his body on White. White to White. He's got Ellard. Yench has to shut him down. Umpire.
Great spoil.
Caused a little shepherd there, but it was a fantastic spoil, and a ball in with 2 minutes left.
Got some closing speed, Jason.
He has.
Wasn't necessarily of the discipline level that people hoped he would be, Matthew Yench, early in his career, but he's a regular pick now.
Yeah, Ellard needed to take the ball in his hands. It's a good throw.
Brown to Taylor Walker.
Wow.
He just doesn't look ready for AFL at the present time, Taylor Walker. That's a couple of games now. He's just not hitting the ball at all.
Well, I think the other thing is he tried to kick a dart off 1 step across his body. I mean, you've just got to take things a little easier, a little more careful until you get all your match touch back.
Late chance here for Adelaide. Short pass is good. Walker's got it. 1:20 left on the clock. They trail by 4 points. Right. Jenkins is on a short lead. He ignores that.
Forward, 1 out.
Yeah, bets against Buckley in the square.
He sits it up for Sloan in the end. He's up and, well, he had both palms on it.
It's actually a really good kick.
Andrew Walker caught by McKay, taken to the ground. Umpire circling him here. He could be in a spot of bother. He's okay.
I reckon Rory Sloan would be disappointed that he didn't mark this. It was a terrific kick. He just grasped it.
Hardigan. Central kick. Doherty.
He's had a good first quarter, Doherty.
Takes off to give Carlton maybe one last chance at a score. There's not a lot on offer for him.
He's going to test him this kick. He's done well. Given it to Armfield's advantage.
Armfield almost with one arm. Armfield.
Good body work to hold him off.
Henderson to Ellard to Yaron. Still 30 seconds left. He's got Menzel in a one-on-one. Surely he wants that. He doesn't. Simpson. Warnock. 20 seconds. Murphy. Jamison trying to open it up. Gibbs. They'll have to be quick here. Heads wide. Thomas. And ducked into it and didn't get one. Murphy still a chance to bang it forward and get a mark. Gibbs. Siren about to sound. Umpire heard that before he even considered a free, but he did get one to the ear. Being played at a fantastic pace, this one here, as you'd expect. The final game of the 3 weeks of the split round, and it's living up to expectations between two teams still hunting down a spot in the top 8. Quarter time at the G. Carlton by 4 points.
Down here with Rob Riley. And Rob, what was the message there when Mick brought the boys in? Usually they see the group go out to their assistant coaches, yet he pulled them straight in.
Yeah, look, he was really happy with our defensive pursuits and being able to limit Adelaide, but it's our kicking, Cam. We're just not taking the right options and kicking to one-on-one. So we just have to improve our kicking efficiency.
Oh, mate, good luck for the second half.
Thanks, mate.
He was a great player, Robert Wiley, for the Tigers. Been a powerhouse over in the West for many years and came to join the Blues with Mick Malthouse, who he spent many years with when Mick was in charge of the Eagles. But there's the man of the moment, Taylor Walker. He's winning the ball. He's getting around. Just doesn't like 100%, and you wouldn't expect him to be. But it's the likes of Josh Jenkins that is going to have to just hold sway a little bit. J-Pod needs to get involved a little bit more as well. But right across the board, there's been mistakes by a foot. There's so much riding on this game for both sides, Jason.
There is. I mean, it's an opportunity for them to really start putting themselves into the mix, but they've got to find their best footy.
And at the other end of the ground, they're looking a bit one-dimensional, the Blues, with Menzel, but they've got Henderson, they've got Waite down there, they've got Casbolt as well.
And the ball up, Dangerfield, half held before he got it, got a handball off.
Good bump from Kerridge.
Thompson, Jacobs jumped on. Dangerfield again, kept his feet to Rutten. McKay about to be shut down. We're back to Rutten. Trouble all the way back. Talia, still trouble. Laird.
They're all high floating handballs. That's the problem.
Jacobs all the way back to defensive 50. Talia, Smith, over the head of Rutten. McKay tried hard. Scrambly start by Adelaide. No precision to it whatsoever.
Well, he dragged it in that time, and he was probably lucky, McKay, not to be pinged.
Yeah, he had a controlled fumble for about 10 seconds, didn't he? Just kept moving the ball around, didn't drag it underneath him. Got away with one. Once again, the Crows had options to kick the ball forward. I know they're trying to break clear with handball.
Holding.
Murphy's free. Buckley.
And after a good first quarter, Troy Menzel has a different opponent. Matty Yench has gone to him now after Brody Smith had a couple kicked on him in the first turn.
Ball eluded Waite, almost thumped back to him. Douglas led. Oh, turnover. Doherty coming off a good first term. Buffeted just in the side, well by Hartigan.
Well, Jared Waite was running around loose there. No opponent. And they've got the Crows under some pressure deep in their forward line. Doherty's still getting some space from Richie Douglas at this stoppage.
Dangerfield tried the pluck and run again. McKay, dangerous spot to be kicking to. Good use of the body by Yaring, but he couldn't pounce. Neither could Buckley. Rutten does. Oh, that could be ball. Had Pryor. Casbolt wrapped him up, and he'll have a shot from 50.
Well, see on replay, he picked the ball up and he just expected someone
to be there.
Be there, give a lay off the handball. It was a great tackle. And whilst no one thinks that blazing away out of defence is a good tactic in today's footy, have a look. He's looking. Where are you? Where are you? Please. No one there.
Too late. Sometimes you do just need to throw it on the boot, get it as far out of the area as possible, and give yourself a chance to reset defensively.
This is for the biggest lead of the game. Neither of these teams have led by more than a goal. Gets plenty of shoe on it. That's out of here.
Well, he's got an awkward style, Jason, but his goal kicking to me is coming along in leaps and bounds, and I think he's going to end up being a significant player for the Blues.
And you see again a different angle. Nobody there to give Ben Rutten a chop out, and it was a terrific run down tackle, but the kick was extraordinary. He's certainly got some range. I don't know that it's ever going to be a particularly accurate style, but 60 metres is no problem.
You mentioned accuracy. He's kicked 3-6 this year now.
Not ideal.
No, you'd want a better rush.
That's good for the confidence when you blow through one from 55.
It's all right for you. Kicked 1,254 at 66%. Dangerfield towards half forward. Sloan gets there. Good contest. Buckley ducked into a high one.
Bit stiff there, the Pods, because Buckley certainly slipped, but he got away with one.
White. Rowe. Made it tough for Rowe. Had to wait for that. Simpson, his outlet.
Real opportunity here for the Blues. They got a nice handy lead, and the Crows just aren't combining well at all.
Just got caught napping there, Taylor Walker.
So White wide to McLean. Jamison thought about the 1-2, sold that nicely. Thomas on his own. Can he get there though? Waited, bang! Hartigan, big time. Took him to the line.
Well, he saw Thomas on his own. I thought the kick was top of the square, but it just drifted.
Just had to wait for it. Poor old Dale Thomas, who's always going to get hammered.
In some respects, he should have avoided taking possession. He might have dragged a free kick.
Yeah, it's hard to ever advise that, though, is it? Don't take possession. Yench. Walker. Talia just in time, got a fist on it. Dangerfield turns nicely into that. Warnock lays a good tackle. Carlton fans roaring here. White off the side, and it hasn't scored.
Well, I think collectively, Jason, Carlton fans know that their side's going just a little bit harder than the Crows.
Having a really good period, aren't they? What'll be pleasing Mick Malthouse is the pressure that they're putting the Crows under, which is creating a lot of those turnovers.
Everett tracked down by Sloan. And again, the crowd in full voice here at the MCG.
Just 3 possessions for Rory Sloan. Andreas Everett's doing an outstanding job.
Jacobs front spot. Warnock behind. Almost got his own clearance. Flicks it up though to right. Thompson. Martin. Walker lucky to be 15.
1 out, Jenkins.
He puts it in his direction. Rowe, Jenkins, good fist, Rowe. Walker missed it. Gibbs, not quite. Thompson, little toe by right. Blues with the numbers around it. Tui, Simpson, Gibbs, McLean.
You mentioned it, Dwayne. It's the numbers. It's what the game is at the present time. Good mark from Waite. Good numbers around the ball across half back. Turns the ball over. Gives them another forward opportunity.
Talia got involved in a bump with Waite after he took the mark, Talia, and he's had the wind knocked out of him. He's holding his ribs. He's in a bit of difficulty.
For the record, the subs for the two teams, Jared Lyons, the in for Adelaide. One change to their winning team last week, and Gala is the sub for the Blues.
Let's have a look at Talia here. After Waite takes the mark, then just drops the arm into the side, and that stopped him. He couldn't go for a while. Let Henderson get loose. I think he's got his breath back now.
10 points the margin, biggest margin of the game. Kerridge rounds up Murphy, brought him down. He had no prior. Everybody takes a deep breath in a rare long stoppage. It's been on from the outset. Warnock to Everett. McLean. Yaron gets and goes. Uses some pace. Takes on Rutten. He sized up Rutten. Says, I want you. Runs to 50. Pass not as good though. Tries to mop up his own mess. Goes back to McLean. It was Tui's ball. McLean just stole it. And pumps it long. Thomas is lurking. Waite's lurking. Waite went up. Tried to get up and go. Dragged down. Dale Thomas back, waiting in the goal square. Ball up on 50. These two teams right now, Adelaide 10th, 4 wins, 4 losses. Carlton 14th, 3 wins, 5 losses. Both teams will have the same win-loss ratio at the end of this round. If the Blues get up, Adelaide with a superior percentage. This is big for both teams. Hartigan, untidy. And Dangerfield. Hoping for Walker. Good contest, Jamison. Walker into the fence.
Just been defending really well. No, you get back out there, Tex.
It was good timing for a spell, but had to go back. He's hit the fence hard.
Yeah. That Crows trainer surely should have just taken the brunt of it.
Sacrifice himself for the team.
Yes,
good, Dwayne.
Exactly.
Put himself between the fence and Tex.
They'll send him a chocolate box in hospital next week. Sloan couldn't. Warnock can't. Dangerfield again. To Thompson, to Jacobs. Dainty little pass towards Walker. Thompson, Sloan, and out on the full. Free kick Blues.
Halfway through the second quarter, they've kicked 1 goal, the Crows.
Simpson just getting up after that knock, guys. He looked a little bit dazed after he hit the ground. He hit the ground pretty hard with that contest with Walker.
Casbolt attacked that nicely. Brown, Yench, Rutten, Jacobs, Douglas. Here's the handball football from Adelaide again. It does get them clear. High kick from Brown towards half forward. White or Henderson back with the flight. Not a lot of talk, but it works. Good commitment, though, you've got to say. Even if you almost take your own man out. Walker back to Rowe. Runner on the open side is Doherty, and Betts is going to try and shut him down. Didn't get there in time. White. Front spot Hardigan, but he dumps it. Menzel takes off. Open space ahead, goes back. Buckley puts it into that space. Daisy Thomas, Yench. Front spot. Rutten mops it up again. Hardigan, and the Crows can reload. Laird.
Doing all their work in the back 50, though, the Crows. They're just not being able to transition this ball.
Yench had to wait. And yet Carlton really not putting their advantage into scoreboard lead at the moment. 10 points. Walker again in a good contest from both players. White, Doherty, Walker. Struts to 50, kick half smothered. Laird.
Holding back the tide at the moment, the Crows. I think they need to have a structural shift here, Jason, because they are just holding back in an inevitable onslaught, it would appear.
And when they get the ball, they just can't hit a target. There's Cade Simpson just sucking in a few deep ones after this collision here. Good, good contest, putting his body in, landed very heavily.
Yeah, you just saw Cade Simpson's left leg here, guys, as he walked around the boundary. They're the old stud marks that I'm sure we all don't miss there, boys.
And he is ultra reliable, Cade Simpson. He might not be one of the well-known superstars of the comp, but another 36 possession game last week, so he's in good form too. Walker can't break free. Andrew Walker tries to knock it out. Crowd thought Murphy deserved one. Thompson manufactures a kick of some sort. Crowd want deliberate, and they get it. They screamed for that.
At no stage was that his intention. It had been congested play, fumbling. It was just a throw on the boot that came off the side of his boot. You can't tell me that's deliberate.
Tui towards Henderson. Good spoil. Hardigan hits the deck. Martin to set it up again. Hardigan. And again he misses the target. White. Tui. Oh, stripped of it. Betts wraps him up. That's got to be ball.
If it wasn't the first time, it certainly was the second time.
Oh, and that 50. Is it 50? You bet it is. This will take him to the top of the square.
Well, Zach Tui can't complain. I mean, he knew who the free kick was against. It was against him.
15 metres out, Sammy.
I think he may have thought that they may have caught advantage there, Jason. Saw Thompson go after the ball. I'm trying to look after him a little bit here, but I think he may have thought that he played on, so he ball's back in play.
Umpire kept blowing the whistle, though, didn't he?
Well, it's a big one for Eddie. This is a really important kick because they haven't been able to draw a goal at the moment, the Crows. And he's worked his way back in with a couple of serious tackles on his opponent.
184 games for the Blues. Eddie Betts crossed the border over summer, and that'll hurt.
Well, it's the one they needed. I think you're right, Moons, that perhaps he was thinking he was advantaged. But here's the day for Eddie Betts. Got a handball away pretty early, but it's been tough getting the football. He's been really working hard in the tackling department. Trying to do a clever one there and got involved with his old mate, Chrissy Yarran. But this is the big moment. He gets a 50 on the back of silly work here from Tui.
13th goal of the season as a Crow. Eddie Betts kicked 4 in the showdown. He's had some lean games. And the last thing the Blues want is for him to get involved. Terrible ball up. Gets recalled.
Dwayne Cade Simpson back on too, and his left leg heavily strapped. He's going to have a huge corky come the end of this game with that.
3-time premiership star Cameron Mooney on the boundary, bringing you the latest from the ball up. Free kick, push. Murphy. And they spread. Thomas. Adelaide getting numbers back in front of him, so he goes short. Tui. He goes back to try and set it up around the key. Andrew Walker spears that for Casbolt. Got hands on it, just knocked free by Jenkins to Sloan. Adelaide with some momentum again now, right.
The slowed one, just not prepared to go and go fast.
But there's no hard running ahead of them, ahead of the footy. No spread.
Sloan, the best and fairest winner from last year, to Podsiadly.
And they are putting their kicking skills under enormous pressure. All of these little chip 15, 20-metre kicks.
That must be the plan, otherwise they wouldn't be doing it. Laird. Thompson. Edging it forward, millimetre by millimetre. Betts. Thompson again. And now it sits up. Walker's down there. Cameron waiting for the crumb. Doherty forces it to the deck. Dangerfield. Dangerous. He got a bit on that. Thomas, last line of defence. Simpson back on. And now the run. Murphy, it's open space ahead. Who does he want? Which one-on-one?
Great work from Murphy. He's really run Kerridge into the ground. He is blowing pretty hard now, Kerridge. Desperate for a run, and he gets an interchange.
Ellard goes back. Could have gone forward. He went to Waite, who goes to Simpson. And now Walker. Casbolt within range. We saw the monster he kicked earlier. Gives it off to Yaron from 50, goal square. It's there.
It's a good finish from Chris Yaron. I thought it might have been the wrong option, the hand pass, because it took him further out, it took him wider on a tighter angle, and he had to kick the ball pretty much running at full pace across his body from the 50-metre arc. There's the Walker pass that found Casbolt. Then this sets Chris Yaron a task. Have a look how good the finish is from that angle.
It was a beauty, and it was well shepherded too by the boys in the goal square.
Yeah, spot on, Jared. That vision, I think, would have upset a few Crow fans who thought it was touchable, but there was a great shepherd on the line to stop Yench. Great to have you watching, Adelaide fans back home. I hope you're enjoying the coverage. Mad scramble in the middle. Umpire circling and gone. Dragged it in. If you have just joined us, 10 points right now is the equal biggest margin of the game so far. Buckley to White. Heads to the pocket to Henderson. Just sat on him a little. Dangerfield, good tackle on Ellard. Stolen back by Everett. Gibbs, centering kick. Laird in the hole.
Well, you got Laird at one end and Yaron at the other. Laird's doing pretty well. Yaron's hitting the goal square, but the big difference, Jason, is the speed of the rebound. They are just playing slow as treacle footy right now, the Crows, and not giving their forwards any chance whatsoever, whereas the Blues are just blowing the ball in there as quickly as they can.
Walker on the lead up. Ball hits the deck. Everett to Yaron. Gibbs. Buckley to size it up. Nice sidestep, and sized it up nicely because he had short pass option wide. Ellard. Goes all the way back to Andrew Walker.
He's got it wide. He's got Daisy Thomas, who's pushed wide. It's the next kick that's going to count.
About to tick into time on in this second term. Over the head of Rowe. Had to go and fish it. Martin dumped, didn't have it. Free.
Let him up now. It's a free kick, Adelaide. Right him up. Let him up. Sammy, I'm in the mid zone, Sam. Sam, stay.
McKay.
Well, that's a good centering ball because it opens up the ground, but again, it's very slow movement.
Martin McKay. Will it be a long bomb? He heads wide, hoping for, and not finding right.
They cannot hit a target. 58% they're kicking at, Adelaide.
Brenton Sanderson, his team missed the finals last year. He knows they can actually get a home preliminary final this year from 7th or 8th, the way Port's playing.
It's 154 possessions apiece at the moment, 17 inside 50s apiece, but Carlton are playing all over the Crows at the moment.
Taylor Walker got hands on a good fist in the end, front spot Doherty. And how will the umpire read this? He's looking, watching, he wants to play ball, you know it. He didn't in the end.
I think the other thing, you look at their inside 50s, Jace, their smalls, once it's just hit the ground like Wright, Betts and Cameron, they've only had the 5 possessions inside their 50 once the ball has hit the ground. So the talls aren't marking it and the smalls aren't getting their hands on it either.
Yep. Mind you, the way it's coming in certainly isn't helping their cause.
Both teams came in with reasonable form. Carlton have won 3 of their past 4. Adelaide have won 4 of their past 5. But it's a very even matchup. Down towards Kerridge and Betts. Neither could get a grab on it because Tui got there first. He's wrapped up. Extracts a little wobbler towards Dangerfield in the boundary line.
Gee, in heavy traffic, I thought he did really well, Zach. So he'd actually force a kick out of the defensive 50.
Adelaide, if they win today, will take North Melbourne's spot in the top 8 if they win by a goal or 2. So this is huge for both clubs. Thomas, a roller. White got an arm free. Kick not so clever. Kerridge, turnover.
Murphy thrown to the ground.
Sloan, centering kick. Taylor Walker. Good spoil, White. Got it to the deck. Walker looks up. Has Yench within range, but he left it behind. Spent it too early. Wright goes back.
Forward. That's an amazing kick and still missed the target. But they had options in the attacking 50 and they've chosen to go to half back.
Rutten.
It's very much a mindset. We just saw it on display there.
You'd hate to be a forward at the moment.
Brown heads wide.
Missed target again.
Taylor Walker just hasn't got the legs at the moment. Did rake it in. Blues getting numbers back. It's touched, obviously. You heard the call. Doherty turns it over. Brown.
He keeps leading, Taylor Walker. He's certainly working hard. He's trying to run Simon White around.
Jeez, he could have been given the mark there as well.
Yeah, he was 5'10" clear.
To Kerridge.
Thank you.
And he hits the pocket. Podsiadly, not quite.
Some strange kicking going on.
It's almost as if that was the plan. Let's get a ball in forward pocket. 4-2 to 2-4. Huge pack around this ball in. A roller from Simpson. White, Hardigan. Eddie Betts just pokes it up, hoping for Podsiadly to get there. He had the leap. And another ball in. Carlton coming off the bye weekend last round. So they should be reasonably fresh in this one. Adelaide coming off a big win over Collingwood, but it was over a week ago, so they should be okay as well for legs all the way to the finish line. Again, 15 players around this. Umpire circling again, wondering who's going to get it out. He's probably pleading for them. 23 minutes gone. Second term, 4.5 left. Simpson, thigh strapped. Waited for a handball option. Made it tough for Buckley. Kept it in front at least. I think both teams have a few players looking forward to a half-time spell. Fatigue starting to set in as the sun sets on a beautiful day here in Melbourne. The final game of the 3 bye rounds, and back to normality next week.
Well, what we do have, though, Dwayne, is it's a low-scoring, an unattractive game, but nothing's changed basically from when we started. There is a win up for grabs. 2 teams desperate for that win have just got to find a way to get themselves over the line.
Thompson, gee, fended off there. That's probably prior opportunity.
Took him on, should have been pinged.
Yeah.
Great tackle, Dale Thomas.
Things can change in a hurry and sides can come out after half-time and look nothing like the side that went in before half-time. But right now, the Crows running just doesn't appear to be going to be able to be competitive with the Blues.
And he was the man that could change it. Dangerfield to McKay. Yaron's chase down tackle. Inspirational.
Paddy Dangerfield's a bit sore as well from behind.
Simpson.
He's going to come off Dangerfield, I think.
I think he's winded down here, Jace. He doesn't look too flash, does he?
He does play a hard game. They do crunch him. He has to have his big boy pants on every game he plays. He doesn't get many possessions uncontested. Gibbs.
It's that left rib area too, guys. He doesn't look too flash the way he's acting with the doctors at the moment.
Murphy.
Well done, Murphy. Didn't take possession.
Still in front. Kerridge got there first.
Yes, he was about to get slaughtered. And that's the look of a bloke with a broken rib. Let's see what happens. Wouldn't have thought it'd come out of that.
He must have had a problem with it beforehand if that's what caused it. That would be aggravating something maybe, but certainly not causing it.
Dangerous spot here for Adelaide inside 3 minutes.
Have you
Their
seen
superstar injured. And a chance for Carlton maybe to go in at halftime with the biggest lead of the game. What a momentum changer that would be if Dangerfield has a bad rib. And Carlton do get that chance now to extend their lead.
Well, they've got them mentally at the moment, I think, the Blues, Jason. They just haven't been able to put them away. As Dwayne has said, just a goal here would be an incredible psychological advantage.
Look, it would be big, and Dale Thomas loves an occasion. I mean, they've had their opportunities, the Crows, though. They've had 22 inside 50s to 18. But we're just seeing prime examples of the ball use that is just at an unacceptable level, down at 57%, the Crows. Carlton slightly better at 63% kicking efficiency.
I think sometimes those inside 50s, if there's 40 blokes or 36 blokes inside your back 50 when the ball goes in there, they don't count for much, whereas the Blues have got it in there a lot quicker.
Douglas breaks free to right, and he hasn't got anyone to go to forward. That's an immensely dangerous kick. It's okay. Talia.
You can't imagine that would have been his target.
Laird.
That's incredible.
Oh, you can just see that there is so much doubt going through the minds of these defenders for the Crows, and in the end they just get a long bomb down the line and a turnover.
Adelaide living on the edge right now.
How would Brenton Sanderson feel after what he witnessed last week to what he's seeing here?
Laird, and yet Adelaide go in with a goal here, and they'll take momentum in at half-time. Douglas pumps it. Charlie Cameron, he gets his chance. Big moment here. Betts, Cameron, Sloan breaks free. Within range of it, bounces kindly. Kerridge running back. The bounce. Unkind.
He's upset, Kerridge, too. He wanted the ball just chipped over the top. He was working Murphy the other way. It's been a really good battle. Murphy's had 11 possessions. Kerridge just the 5, but you wouldn't say that Murphy's dominated by any stretch of the imagination.
No, and like all good midfielders, didn't miss an opportunity there to kick it to himself. Wrapped one up.
Well, that takes the total to 12.
Big 1 minute 25 coming to half-time here. For either team, if they can sneak one. Thompson traps it nicely. Handballs into space. Menzel stood in the middle. Adelaide tackle on McKay. Sloan. Martin. Here's the chance. Sprays it.
He had a little bit more time than he thought. Brody Martin.
But that's the way they've played, Jason. They haven't had any real poise with the football. Everything's been rushed. Self-doubt looks as if it's crept right into their game. And to me, that's the issue they're going to have to address at half-time. They're going to have to actually have a crack at this, risk losing, to give themselves the best chance of winning.
Podsiadly's marked that.
That's a great mark.
So Adelaide might get the last roll of the dice. He floats it on Yench.
It was a horrendous kick.
And now they might not get the last roll. Carlton with a chance. Tui. 30 seconds left. Bangs it in Henderson's direction. Laird gets back. And another saving mark from him. Oh, Douglas dumps it. Some tired boys out there. Half-time can't come quickly enough.
They cannot hit a teammate by foot.
Hardigan down to 15 seconds. Jenkins on the move. Almost. Oh, he's paid it. Oh, and he's playing for 50. So he will kick after the siren here.
Simon White is adamant that the ball hit the deck.
Yeah, I thought it did too,
Jeez, I thought he grasped it too, boys.
Yeah, that's why I was curious to see why he paid it.
Oh, it did hit the deck.
And I'm glad I talked over Simon White when he explained to the umpire that he thought it hit the deck.
Well, in his defence, he was right. He was right. So it shouldn't have been a mark.
Oh, how would...
Wonderful opportunity for the Crows.
How would this be for confidence, for momentum? The footy gods are against him. The crowd are against him. To cut it to a 2-point game, it's sailing wide, only a behind. Half-time here at the MCG, and it's a tight one. From the outset, it's been go hard or go home. And Carlton lead 4-2-26 to 2-7-19. Mark Bickley, Adelaide Crow assistant coach. Only 7 points to margin. It's up for grabs if one of these two teams can find a game breaker.
Well, they'd love Chris Yarran to continue to get plenty of the ball. He makes things happen. He can run and carry. He's already kicked a goal as well, which is a terrific finish from the 50-metre arc across his body. If he can get another dozen-plus possessions in the second half, I think they'll feel that he can probably do enough damage to help get them over the line.
He's a funny player in that he's so destructive coming off the half-back line, and yet he's capable of kicking 3 or 4 if he's played inside the forward 50. Where would you have him, Jason?
I think Carlton actually need him from half-back.
Yeah.
They need that creative run and someone that uses the ball well.
And he actually highlights what's been wrong with Adelaide in the first half. They haven't had anybody prepared to go down the corridor, take a risk, take a bounce, move the ball, back it in that their forwards are actually going to be able to take a one-on-one mark. They're waiting for their forwards to get 30 metres in the clear so they don't have to pinpoint a pass. You'd hate to be a forward in the Crows forward 50 at the present time.
It's interesting that Sloane's going to start in the forward 50 this time around. Andreas Everett goes with him.
It's interesting yesterday to hear Jack Riewoldt interviewed after the game, and again he was candid, saying that the game plan for Richmond yesterday is just to put 20 goals past GWS. Well, neither of these teams are going to put 20 goals past their opposition today, but they've got a lot better scoring power than they showed in the first half. Big guns up forward. Can someone take the game by the scruff of the neck here in the second half? McKay caught. Dragged down. Good reach in and get. Casbolt about to make them. In fact, he's still down, so we'll keep an eye on that. He's in the hands of trainers. I think it's McLean. In the meantime, Everett plays on. Runs to 52. Menzel in the square. Lets it go. Perfect start, Blues.
They've been the most impressive side on the night, despite the fact that they have also wasted a lot of opportunity around the ground. In front of goals at 5-2, they are doing a major lesson. That was close to being a sliding rule, but a good decision from the umpire. I don't think the legs were threatened in any way. And then Casbolt gets the ball going forward. And that's either a really lucky kick or a really good kick, and finishes up with the recruit from the Swans kicking a big one.
Another good shepherd. And that's the start the Blues were no doubt after. Biggest margin of the game right now, 13 points. Kerridge. The Blues have put the hammer down. Murphy spears that over Menzel. White buffeted out of it by Hardigan. Yarran flicks it out. And White can't pick it and go.
Jason, they're on the ropes right now. I know they're only a few goals down, but the Crows look as if this game is about to be taken away from them. It's early in the third quarter. You'd just like to see some desperation and some flow come into their game before the Blues just rip the heart out of the match.
Gibbs down, McLean, Simpson, Walker. Didn't bend it around as far as he would have liked. Stumped clear.
I think one of the issues, Jared, is we probably suspected that Adelaide might have an advantage in the midfield, and that hasn't been the way that it's panned out. In fact, their midfield's really struggled to get a grip on things.
They've had numbers, but they haven't been going forward with the numbers. Sloane's been a big kill for them at the present time. He has not had an impact. His man has, and continues to.
Everett, Armfield, Yaron takes them on, brushes the tackle. Kick not so good. Still in a good spot, Dangerfield.
I've never seen him butcher a ball like that in front of goal as badly as that. He looked as if he had that goal sewn up.
Gibbs back to Tui, so the Blues can reload. Tough one to mark, bending top of the square. Big pack flew. Jacobs, nice collect. Sloane got it from Pods, gives it to Jacobs, hands it to Smith, back to Douglas. Good sidestep. And Kerridge is going to have to go here. He's spent. He's been chasing Murphy and he couldn't find the legs. Gibbs. They are on the canvas here, Adelaide. And the Blues looking for a couple of knockout blows in this third term. Can they get up?
Lots of room down the middle if they're prepared to unload.
Simpson. Possession number 22 for him. Lace out to Menzel. He was hurt moments ago. Wiped his brow and got on with it. Short pass, Thomas. And this could go anywhere, but if it goes straight, then the Crows have got some problems.
He worked hard for that one, Dale Thomas.
Well, he just came off the bench then, Jace. He just absolutely sprinted through the forward 50, and Tex tried to go with him but just couldn't keep up.
Got 1 metre. 15 seconds.
50-50 at goal at best. Had 3 goals 4 coming into this game. And he strikes it very thin. That's not even scored. Mick Malthouse caught a duck foot before the game. I hadn't heard of that before, but seemed to make sense.
Just lost a lot of power out of that kicking style at the present time.
Again, they just cannot hit a target once they do win possession, Adelaide.
McKay beelined it. Ellard scoops a handball up. Talia knocked down by Henderson. Everett, he's been the danger man to set it up. Doherty bounces it all the way home. Was it touched? Was it touched?
Wanted to hit the post.
I believe it's a goal. I just want to confirm it doesn't touch the back of the post.
Okay. Score review. Umpire's call is a goal. Please check it didn't hit the post.
And if it brushes the flag at the back of the post, that is counted as part of the post. Ooh. The flag is part of the post, even though it's sticking out.
Is that definitive?
I wouldn't have thought it was definitive. So it's awfully close.
Review completed. Umpire's call.
All clear a goal.
It's a goal.
Well, it was a big blow by the Blues, and they have jumped out of the blocks. The Crows right now have kicked 2 goals, and they are struggling to get the ball inside the forward 50. But this is Everett once again involved where it counts, forward of the 50. And the bounce was absolutely true. And Doherty continues perhaps his finest game for the Blues.
Play against his old team next week at the Gabba. Big moment for him, Sam Doherty.
Only a 19-point margin, but in the scheme of things today, it feels like it's 6 or 7 goals.
Here he is again on cue. And Yaron, they have put the foot down, and Adelaide cannot keep up right now.
Yeah, another terrific clearance, centre clearance. Mark Murphy really starting to get on top now of Sam Kerridge. He's up to 17 possessions and a 3rd clearance there. And if he's starting to really get the ball rolling for the Blues, they're getting first use of the ball going forward, opportunities for one-on-one contests, and Yaron a chance to really open it up.
He's kicked 12 goals for the season, 12 goals 4. So he has been accurate until now. Adelaide off the hook for a moment.
Well, in this term, The Blues have had it 34 times, Adelaide just 11. The clearances are 5-0. The inside 50s are 7-0. The contested possessions are 8-0. They haven't come out yet, the Crows. It's not done and dusted, but it's looking awfully like it at the present time if they don't extract the proverbial digit.
If you have just joined us, 20 points is the biggest lead of the game to either team. Thompson drops into a high, not paid, rightly so. Jacobs, and he launches it. Jenkins one-on-one, Rowe, Jenkins, little flick down, goes and gets his own ball, caught, hands it back, right, Walker, that's his moment, and he nails it. First goal for Taylor Walker since the comeback.
And he'd be really relieved, and everybody in football is absolutely thrilled to see it, but he would be arguing, don't look at the forward line. That's the first time the ball's come down here. There hasn't been 15 Carlton players. This is the first little bit of open acreage, Jason, that they've had to move in.
Yeah, it was actually a good long kick from Sam Jagers that was to the advantage of the forward in Jenkins, and then they were able to keep possession once it went forward.
Failed to kick a goal in his return game last week. 4 behinds. First goal since injuring his ACL round 5 here at the G against Carlton last year. And they found something.
Yeah, could it be a trigger, Dwayne?
You mentioned a long kick, Jason. I know it's revolutionary. Do you think it might catch on?
And suddenly the Blues under some pressure.
And that needed a really good kick from Mark Murphy.
Dale Thomas. He sits that a little, led up early. Good contest, kept it in front. Hands it up to Dangerfield. Breaks free but slips. Thompson just beyond his range. Sloan maybe close enough. Got the handball up. Cameron, he gets his moment. Not quite, and he hasn't had the game that he had in game 1 last week.
But the game has just opened up a little bit, Jason, and all of a sudden they look a totally different unit, the Crows.
Just some quick ball forward.
Tui. Waite's going to have to go. He got a little nudge into that. Doherty's ball. No, it was Waite. Got the nudge. Murphy.
Jared Waite, if you're going to handball, you can also lay the ship for the skipper.
Sloan read that nicely off hands. Rutten. Hardigan. Dangerous, but they're taking it on. Thompson
has opened right up this game, and it may just favour the Crows in doing so.
It's got Talia long. It needs to be good. Talia drifts into it, and Podsiadly could go all the way here. The handover. The Pods hasn't seen much of it either, and he can't.
Well, it wasn't a great hand pass, and again a loopy hand pass meant that he couldn't run straight at goal. He had to evade the player that was chasing the hand pass as it floated over. Had to kick it around the corner, but having said that, you still probably expected Podsiadly to be able to kick that. What about the barrel from Tui?
70, like that, 80 metres to the wing. And it'll work. Thomas to Ellard. Oh, you little fumble. That's all it takes sometimes. Back to McLean. Buckley, now the Crows come. Good enough to get away with it. McLean back towards half forward. Ellard contest with Laird. Yaron, fist from Brown, still alive though. Yaron wanted to get it and go. Drop to the deck, Laird caught high. And they're back in it. They've got some momentum back, Adelaide. They've got some belief back.
Great play by Luke Brown there. There's a couple of efforts there, kept the Blues out of it and his side in it.
McKay to Thompson. Chased by Henderson, and suddenly Adelaide have got the legs. Martin and the free men.
Well, they're actually moving the ball a lot quicker. You can see there's obviously been a clear direction to do that.
Slippery, but Douglas got up, gave it to Martin. Short, Walker, one grab, not the second.
Gee, it doesn't change direction well, Tex, at the moment. It doesn't have the confidence in the leg to prop, stop and go.
Doherty to Everett. Back to Doherty. Hoping for Ellard. Rutten used his strength. Flicks it to Hardigan. Taylor Walker. Talia. They've got numbers inboard.
Cameron.
So Martin looks up. Made it tough for Jenkins. The chaos ball might work. Eddie Betts around his body. Eddie's back.
Well, that is a hard-lifting goal for all Crow supporters. A deflating one, no doubt, for the Blues, who loved Eddie when he was playing in their jumper. I think the competition loves Eddie because he does what we all come to the footy to see, and that is do magical things. And this is a great highlight. And they needed it off the back of a wasted opportunity the last foray forward. Eddie swooped.
Could Eddie Betts come back to the G and haunt the Blues? There's a kick in it. The game's lifted a gear. Ball on the deck. Thompson. Adelaide have got the extra man all of a sudden. Cameron rolls it inside 50. Podsiadly, Jamison. Blues under immense pressure now. Rowe. Free kick to the Blues. Back pocket. Rowe. He sits that on Doherty. Got one to the ear. Umpire said keep going, boys. And Sloan finds the Sharon. Betts inside 50 in his direction. Just beyond his range unless he takes off. And he takes off. Sizes them up. Gets plenty on it, but it's inaccurate. 5 points in it. They're a kick from the lead.
Well, at the moment, Jason, the Blues have got White as the extra player in defence. Yaron is playing as a deep forward. He just doesn't seem to be going to the same spots as Yaron was early. Ball coming in a lot freer, obviously, than it was in the first half.
Warnock to Armfield. Cameron lays a tackle into the back of Murphy. The Blues fans thought. Still on the deck.
Carlton.
Free kick to the Blues.
Straight up. Let him go. Let him go.
Dar Thomas gets up. Halfway through this third term, the game has come to life. Yeah, slung afterwards. Suddenly the Blues a little stagnant. Simpson. Cautious. Jamison. Gee, had to get back. And he hasn't got much to go to. He's going to get told to play on in a sec. Move it on. Casbolt. And he's told to hold it up by McLean. Simpson. White. Up. Got it. Good pluck.
Dale Thomas running hard.
Let back at him in the end.
Wasn't a great kick though.
Douglas. Hardigan. Turnover. McLean. Sloan. Now he's got Martin who can get and go. Half-back flank. Plenty of space ahead.
He's got the corridor.
Yench. Taylor Walker, can he get there? No. Tui dropped in front.
It was a poor kick. They had 2 or 3 numbers in the middle of the corridor and didn't make anything of it. They could have run and carried.
Adelaide did lead a couple of times in the opening term. The Blues, early stage of this term, stretched the margin. Adelaide on the way back. Thomas just beyond his range. Yaron running inside 50. Waite running inside 50. Everett in a one-on-one. Sloan front spot. Good knockdown. Good discipline.
Smart kick off the ground as well from Talia.
So Martin, he doesn't want to turn it over. Eddie Betts on the march. Oh, he reached for that, Eddie. McLean held his line. Bangs it long. Waite. Hardigan. Waite front spot. Hardigan a fist. Blues will take a ball in. Waite would have taken a free. And this is now the pivotal battle we thought it would be. 2 teams outside the 8, trying to keep their dream alive in 2014. Everett! Not quite.
Amazing how they've turned it around, the Crows. That little bit of quick movement of the footy gives the forwards an opportunity. It's 11-7 the inside 50s in this quarter in Carlton's favour.
Jenkins has got three.
Ball.
Sorry, Jenkins had 3 to beat there. Thomas, Everett to the hot spot. Henderson couldn't get there in time. Jench does, but caught. Ellard, good attack, put his head down, ran in to Jacobs. Armfield to break free. Little chip, travelled to 15, Simpson for a settler.
Well, Dangerfield got sucked into the tackle. Armfield, his tagger, he was out the back. And he picked up the ball. And that would have hurt.
Oh, landed heavily, didn't he?
Some pressure on Cade Simpson here. Knows how much the Blues need this. Settle it all down again. From directly out. What pressure?
Chris Yaron's been an important player for the Blues today. We'll just take a look at some of his contributions. He's had the 16 possessions and a goal. But he's got the speed to break the lines, to carry, to run, to bounce, to bring other players into it, and he's got exquisite foot skills, something that's really been lacking from this game today. And he has the opportunity to set himself aside and be the match winner for the Blues. And look at this chase. That's brilliant.
Here he is, 16 possessions, inside 53, but in that first part of the game, he was really charging off that half-back line.
Inside time on by a couple of seconds. Simpson gets a clearing kick. Jench bounced unkindly for him. Wade looks up, ignored Menzel, goes alone. Armfield has to make a contest. Laird, Armfield did well.
He's done a good job so far, Roy Laird, but on that occasion, Armfield's speed, and it's been a factor all day with Dangerfield. It's been a good matchup. Was able to close down on that ball.
Two ruckman lock arms. Armfield again. Murphy went down, didn't really have it. Douglas, Podsiadly in a contest. Right, marked by Buckley.
Just about kicking from there. He's a long bomb.
Should attack a monster from there.
This would be a big kick.
You have to kick a barrel from inside the square.
He sits it up.
Gee, Eddie nearly...
Everett's going to go up. Oh, wait, from 3 deep.
6 Adelaide Crows players at that pack. No one able to take the run of Jared Wade or stop him from flying over the top. And if he didn't mark it, Everett looked like he was going to mark it. So I reckon Brenton Sanderson will be pretty disappointed that they're going to kick one late. There's plenty of white jumpers there. Only 2 small blokes jumped up in the air.
His man was sitting 4 metres off the pack, and Sanderson frustrated because he knows this game is now going to be very difficult from this spot to win.
Back into the lineup this week. He shanks that.
Oh, no.
That was horrific.
I don't think he can believe it either, Mick Muldown. He's going, what on earth just happened?
Oh, Doherty cuts off the kick in. Comedy of errors for the last 10 seconds. And this again could be huge.
Hasn't been a few of those this weekend.
Can't say it's footy at its best.
No, that keeps from full back. Just goes to show how difficult it is. The forward pressure now is supreme. They've got quick blokes on the mark at full forward instead of slow blokes like yesteryear, really putting pressure on.
Still trying to establish himself in a Blues jumper. Oh, that'll endear him to a few fans. He restores the 3-goal margin.
Could well be his best game, I think, unfolding, Jason, for the Blues.
Well, I reckon Jared Waite's a relieved man. Let's have a look at the ball drop. Didn't look to be too much wrong, except maybe he's kicked it with his toes.
I reckon he took a little bit of turf there,
Took a divot, did he, on the way through?
Can you just check his boots when he comes off? They look as if they're 2 sizes too big.
They look long, don't they?
They do look long.
Well, he's just coming off now, boys. I'll have a look.
There's an unlikely hero emerging here. Doherty's kicked a couple in this quarter, and we'll have a look at whether Jared Waite's okay very shortly as well. 5 in the square.
Yep.
Another bizarre mistake. Jacob stumps it long. Fist from Rowe. Jenkins about to pounce. He half lays a shepherd on Walker, allows McKay. Feeds a handle to Douglas. Back to Thompson. To the hot spot. Martin might go up. Big fist. Tui can drag it through.
Good numbers back there by the Blues. They have pushed back pretty hard all evening. With the exception of that 10-minute spell only 10 minutes ago, they've been ultra professional in their defence.
Henderson, his target, cut off by Dangerfield, who hasn't had a big impact just yet. Jenkins sits on him. Cameron, well, he goes back and gets it, and this time finds the big sticks.
He's a clever player, Jason. But it all came from a really bad mistake with the Blues. They've got 5 in the square. You can see there McLean and the trainer getting their messages mixed up.
Well, I think the trainer sent him to the far wing, but he needed to get out and run all the way around. That was the problem. Wasn't a great kick coming in from Dangerfield, but at the second attempt, Charlie Cameron, a really good snap. And the one thing we can say about this game is you have no idea what's going to come up next. You cannot predict what's happening.
They call him the Jet. That's what he had on the back of his jumper during the warm-up. The Crows have their nicknames on the back. And the Jet is starting to have an impact. Jacobs toward the Jet. And he's got it. And he feeds it. Douglas. Party trick. Right.
Need to cut
Douglas.
down.
Thompson. Stand start. Oh, it's a miracle minute for Adelaide. 2 in a row.
And it started with big sauce Jacobs. You don't see this very often, where a ruckman just grabs it out of the centre bounce and charges forward and kicks it. It wouldn't have happened too many times this season, at least. And that was the start of everybody just charging forward. There he is, big sauce. Good effort by the Pods to create the contest. Cameron again just didn't quite get it out the front, and then just a number of fumbles. But Thompson, clear-headed, pings it through the bigs.
Wasn't what you'd call a regulation goal, but they moved the ball forward, and the expression on Scotty Thompson's face. Have a look at this. He is up and about.
And they are up and about, and Dangerfield is up. Pumps it long. Podsiadly couldn't quite get there. But a ball in, not a bad spot for Adelaide.
Have a look at this expression. Look at that. Look at the eyes. That's big.
That's how much it means.
And doesn't it mean plenty when Dangerfield breaks away like that?
Thompson almost, but Gibbs. Tumbler, wobbler, tough one to mark. Rutten. Adelaide free. Brown was wrapped up. And the Blues fans getting a little grumpy.
And this has got to be a smart kick, whether he crosses it to the other side, drops it in short.
Every Carlton player is ahead of Yench now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 50.
Wow.
Jeez.
This is going to be 3 goals in 3 minutes.
Gee, I need to see that again. He's in disbelief. Where does he take the mark? There. Well, he does. He's trying to cut off the kick inboard, but he has gone a couple of metres past where the mark was. You can't do that. It's good umpiring.
To the Blues to level the scores as we edge close to 3/4 time. The whips are starting to crack here.
Well, incredibly, with 3 minutes to go before 3/4 time, scores are level. The Blues seem to have seen off the challenge by the Crows, and yet 3 goals in 3 minutes, and it's back even.
Well,
and the quickness of movement out of the square has been quite simply the undoing of the Blues.
That was the free kick there. to Luke Brown for high contact against Walker, but they kicked 2 goals early in a surge and then 3 goals late in a surge, the Crows.
And guys, Dylan Buckley's just come off with you just see it here on the screen. Looks like his left leg, he's gone straight under at the moment. Gala is just getting up now to start a little bit of a warm-up.
The Blues have a game breaker as their sub, Jeffrey Garlett, who probably owes them one.
Gee.
Hasn't been in great form. And is that Dangerfield hurt?
Down again.
Okay.
And in pain.
Yeah, not getting up in a hurry. Closing minutes here, third term. And it's been a fantastic turn, the best quarter of the game.
Jacobs has had a huge 10 minutes.
Rutten, long, Cameron under it. Thumb cleared by Simpson. Doherty tracked down, gets a wobbling kick.
He's looking at a teammate there. That was just a hit and hope kick.
Dangerfield looks to be coming to the bench. Smith left it behind. Talia. Good attack from both McLean and McKay. And Smith gets his chance now. Feeds it nicely to Thompson. Inboard. McKay. Walker.
Hold on. It's a lucky kick as well. Just thrown on the boot.
They could take the lead here for the first time since the opening minutes. He goes to Jenkins and hits him.
Really clever kick from Taylor Walker. He gets a pat on the back from Big Sam Jacobs because he didn't rush the kick. He waited to see what was going to unfold, and then he saw both Sloan and Jenkins running back with the flight of the ball inside 50 into a pocket of space. There's Dangerfield. He's copped a bit of treatment today on and off the field. He just got caught under the ruck, maybe copped a knee to the back.
What a big kick this would be. He's capable.
Has he kicked well?
Isn't a problem.
Very quiet day, Josh Jenkins. 5 possessions, 2 behinds.
He's Adelaide's leading goal kicker this year. Hasn't got one so far. And kicks to the near side, but they lead by that kick.
Guys, Dylan Buckley has been subbed off, guys. He obviously can't go on. Garlett's on the boundary line just now getting instructions from Mick, just about to come on.
He's a handy sub.
Lyons is the sub, by the way, for Adelaide, and he hasn't been brought into the game yet. Thomas. 1 minute 20 left. Casbolt, the Blues, they could take the lead back. Kick smothered. Now it's Adelaide in the spot.
Great smother.
Into zone, big time. Laird. Thompson, stolen back. This game is awesome right now. It's lifted 2 gears in a hurry. Taylor Walker down the middle.
What a kick.
Hits Sloan lace out. They're spent. 3/4 time can't come quickly enough. Simpson pokes it wide. There's injured players going down and going off. Gibbs has a chance. Puts it back. Top of the square. Walker! Not quite. Garlett just on. Tried to hit front and square. Didn't get there. Yench. We're down to 40 seconds. Charlie Cameron. One-on-one on the wing. He's got the speed on the deck. Yaron just buffets him out of it. Cameron stripped him of it. Back. That's a throw.
Looked to throw.
He got away with it. Yaron back to the pocket. Walker!
But it's been a big move putting Walker forward, or in fact he took himself forward because his man Pods is with him. But that looks as if they got away with one there, Dwayne, with a little throw in the air and then a punch. Let's have a look at it. There it is, throw and punch.
All eyes now on Andrew Walker. Pushed forward. He was best on ground. Got the 3 Brownlow votes last time these 2 teams met. This is a pivotal moment in a pivotal contest. This is for the lead back. The Blues have led it quarter time. They led it half time. And he sprays it and does not score.
Missed by 20 metres.
3/4 time at the MCG, and everywhere you look there's a story. Buckley's done for the afternoon. Dangerfield in the hands of trainers. And there's 1 point in it. Adelaide, if they win tonight, will take North Melbourne's spot inside the top 8.
Thanks, Dwayne. I'm just quickly looking at the Adelaide's Adelaide huddle at the moment. Looks like Rutten has the red vest on at the moment. So line coming on. So Rutten looks like he may be the one being subbed out, which is extraordinary considering the quarter that he just had. And Dangerfield, I mean, you talk about a brute. He's copped an absolute belting today. He's got sore ribs. He's got sore backs. We saw him land on his back and didn't look like much. So maybe he has come into the game with something. We just see him here. He's copped an absolute belting today, as we say. Look, here he is. He just falls over here. It's not a really big fall, but gets up. Really sore after that in the left ribs. And then again here, look at cops a knee into the back there as well. So really sore going into this quarter, guys. But again, Rutten has been subbed out, guys, with line coming on, which is a huge surprise.
It is. He's had 14 possessions, Rutten, and he had a moment there where he did two things that really saved Adelaide late in that third term. He smothered the kick that Casbolt was going to kick forward when Walker was one out, was virtually all on his own, would have kicked the goal. And then he dived and pulled off a despairing tackle to halt Carlton's progress about 30 seconds later. So it does give them more run, bringing Lions on, but Rutten had been a rock.
So J-Pod now has got a key defensive position.
It all comes down to this. One last quarter. As we said, both teams trying to track down a spot in the top 8, heading towards September, and the whips are a-cracking now. Rowe gets back. The cream on the AFL ladder is starting to rise to the top. The Blues can't leave it too late, and neither can Adelaide to make their run. They need to start it now. Walker, the sidestep was good. Yaron.
It's a really interesting move, taking Rutten from the ground. They've taken off an All-Australian defender and replaced him with J-Pod, who's played a bit down back. He's done it with Premiership side as well. But you could have just taken the pods off and left your key defender there. So it's a really challenging move. It's got to be dissected after the match.
He barely touched that, Bryce Gibbs. It slipped straight through, and his recovery effort was poor.
Adelaide moved the ball forward quickly and long in the third term. It got them back into the game. Rowe, Betts, Simpson all around it. Back to Walker. Wright chases him down, forces him all the way back to fullback.
Needs to be a good kick.
Sloan, front spot. Everett, good battle. The Seagulls scatter. Sloan gets there to his own advantage. He didn't want the boundary, just wanted the Sharon. He missed Walker though with the handball. Walker on Walker. Gets it to Big Warnock, gives it up, and Everett runs.
Well, he's having an absolute blinder of a game, Andres Everett.
Ellard, not quite, and he drop kicks that to Podsiadly, to Smith, to Hardigan under some pressure now.
Poor tackle. Handball again.
Didn't look like a handball. Wait, and he didn't wait that kick too well. Gibbs made a contest, Lyons just on, as you saw. Dangerfield, 2 Lions. Podsiadly.
Good kick.
Now they're away.
So Laird can go. Finds Thompson.
Got a smaller forward line now. It has to go to space.
Betts. Jamison. Eddie! Oh.
I reckon you saw it coming, Jared. He was sweating on the outcome of that little contest, wasn't he? Just stalking them.
Well, I like the move. I like the move of going smaller on the forward line. I think they've been a little bit cumbersome up there for these conditions, for the amount of ball that's been coming in, or the amount of ball that hasn't been coming in. But it was flicked out the back. Not sure whether it was intentional or not, but Eddie read it best. We saw a small forward line win it for Collingwood last night. Will it do the same?
Oh, he's an entertainer, isn't he? You got to love those sort of expressions and celebrations after a goal. Critical game, and he's given them a little bit of breathing space.
Their biggest lead of the game, Adelaide, 7 points. If you have just joined us, Carlton did lead by as much as 20. Laird. Talia.
That's a horrendous kick.
There's been a few of those. Simpson. Murphy dragged down. Hardly got a toe on it. Adelaide hunting hard. Everett worked his backside off. Gibbs feeds it back.
Sloan needs a hand in the middle. He is working himself to the bone in the defensive stuff, but he's running out of juice.
So Menzel forward.
Well, Podsiadly was on him at that particular point in time, and he was just ball watching. He went where he thought the ball was going to be kicked and completely lost Troy Menzel.
And this bloke hurts you because these kicks are well and truly within his capabilities.
He had the hot start, kicked 2 goals in the opening term, Troy Menzel. Hasn't seen a lot of it since. But every kick, mark, handball, shot at goal, growing in importance as this clock ticks down on the final term. And this will bring the crowd back to life. It's across the face. And the crowd has gone out of it, you can hear.
Well, I don't think they know what's going to happen either, Dwayne. You'd be a game man to try and predict how this is going to turn out.
Adelaide in a one-on-one with Menzel. He's got the strength and the reach. McKay slips in opportune time. Thompson got his arms free. Garlick slick hands.
Quick.
Menzel gets a second chance. Ellard runs in the goal. No.
Well, there's good pressure on the kick out last time. They've got to do better than just long bombing.
You just think that what's going to separate these two teams, Jared, a couple of individual players that can actually use the footy.
Dangerfield off again quickly, guys, and just doesn't look comfortable one bit.
Carlton 1 kick from the lead. Jacobs flies. Off hands.
Well, I think his time in the midfield is just about over. Maybe his time on the ground is just about over.
He's a good full forward when he wants to be.
That'll be the next move for him, Dwayne. He may even have a dish problem. The trainer there isn't rubbing him on the back to make him feel good.
McLean. Blues pushing hard to get this lead back. Simpson long. Adelaide, that's what he's there for. Couldn't quite crush it over the boundary line. McLean. Didn't look like a kick from here. Holding the ball.
Tell you what, Rory Laird would feel relieved. He could have run the ball over the boundary and he just blindly handballed it straight back in to Brock McLean.
And they've got him covered here, the Blues. He'll have to come down the line unless he takes a really courageous kick, and tonight's not the night, it seems.
Taylor Walker gets a run at this.
Oh, well.
Yaron, good crumb. Doherty. 60 from goal. Pokes the pass. Menzel tunneled a little. No free. Thomas. Ellard needs to. Does. Blues are back in front.
Well, the beauty of a low score is that it's always attainable. And the Blues gave up a pretty handy lead. The Crows looked like they were in control of the match for 10 minutes, but all of a sudden now the run of the Blues is coming to the fore. That's 3 goal-scoring opportunities they've had in 5 minutes. Only one's gone through, but it's been enough now to take the lead.
Jason, I'm not sure if Podziali is a matchup that you want for Menzel at the moment either. I know they've need him down there at the moment, but that's just not a really good matchup for the Crows, I don't think.
No, I agree. I mean, they made the conscious decision to take off Rutten, a key defender, and replace him with Podziali, maybe for a fitness perspective, but it's not a matchup that looks good.
Oh, Dangerfield back on and bullocking. Single-handedly got that clearance to half forward. Sloan likewise.
And very slow to get up again, Dangerfield.
Gibbs. Ellard. Oh, he dumped that. Good tackle. Yench wraps him up, knocks it out. Feed wide from Doherty to Everett.
There'll be a free kick paid against Pods the way he's going. He cannot go with him.
Pops it inside 50. Getting back again, Brown.
No, they're isolating it too, Jared. They know Carlton know that's the matchup that's going to win them the game.
So what's their options? Can they put a Brodie Smith back there?
Well, we saw him get completely touched up in that first quarter, but they need someone who knows how to defend a small player.
What a kick.
Turnover.
Metres on his own already.
Ellard to the man we spoke of, Menzel.
Well, it was just another horrendous turnover from the Crows. A chip kick that just sat up far too long, and it allowed Casbolt to get back and spoil the ball. Foot skills, again, the root of all evil, it seems, today. Talia just sitting it up far too high.
To push the margin back out to 7 points. To be a great player, you need to want the ball in your hands in these situations. And you sense he wants the ball in his hands.
Well, 3-2 now for Troy Menzel. He started like a house on fire. He was the go-to man in the first quarter, that's for sure. He got a couple up on the lead, and he ran Brodie Smith a merry dance. Soon had Matty Yates switched onto him. It's a free kick there for Holding. That's when Smith was starting to feel the pressure, necessitated the change in opponent. And he's always looked a constant threat when the ball has gone forward.
Well, it hasn't taken long, and that change has been effected. We'll just come up with a player who has pushed down onto him. Luke Brown. So he's now in for his third opponent.
Douglas gets an important clearance. Oh, great contest. Both Wright and Simpson.
Cameron.
Martin squeezes wide. Eddie Betts on 50. He's thinking about having a crack, Eddie.
I'll tell you what, he slid about 3 metres after he marked it, Eddie. And the umpire didn't take the mark back to 3, so he's no chance of making the distance, you wouldn't think. He's looking for a hit up. He'll try and pop it to somebody's advantage. Maybe to Walker.
Sits it up in hope. Good fist. He's got to get his own ball. Gets his own crumb. Dangerfield from the pocket. Simpson to the line.
He just keeps getting worked over, Dangerfield. He's had Eddie Betts pushed into him there. Let's have a look at this collision. Oh, Simpson and Wright.
Oh, he's getting friendly fire as well. He has had one hell of a bad night for collisions.
McLean gets the clearance, but Hartigan takes the mark. He's been solid.
Got to go. There's a lot of Carlton players down there.
Yench. Talia. He's going the bomb. Oh, he goes the spear, keeps it low. Through the hands. He had that, Lyons.
It was a great kick.
Tui's ball.
It's a great kick from Talia to Lyons, but he hasn't picked up the pace of the game. It's just slipped straight through.
Oddsy Adley and Hartigan waiting for this. Casbolt with a couple to beat. Got it to the front. Wait to goal at the sub. Should be fresh. Keeps it alive. Keeps it in. Keeps it running. And took 3 tacklers with him. White content to take it out.
Well, Mick's playing games at the present time. He really is trying to challenge Brenton Sanderson by taking off Troy Menzel. He's come off. Murphy's come off, although he may well just have come straight back on. They're rotating them, trying to upset the matchups. Henderson's now gone forward with Daisy Thomas.
Sloan. Jacobs. Good bend, good hand. Martin runs away from Menzel, got his hands free. They set it all up. Carriage to Jacobs. Not normally the delivery man. Eddie Betts with a couple to beat. Uses the body. Strips it from them. Can you believe it?
Oh, what a goal.
He's got 4.
What I loved about Eddie Betts here is he knew he was outnumbered 1-2. He's no chance of taking the mark. So he just got busy in doing enough to put the 2 players off. He was like a ping pong ball just bouncing in between the 2 of them. And between the 2 of them, the Carlton players should have mopped that up, but he was the one that tracked it.
That's one of the best goals I've seen Eddie kick. 2 against 1. They are phenomenal circumstances against.
You just shouldn't have a win in that situation, should you?
No, that was creative. Junior's at its best. Well played, Eddie.
Bit of Eddie magic.
Oh, what a goal.
Back in the middle. 1 point in it. McLean. A clearance of sorts. Ellard bangs it inside 50.
They've settled for Potts to be the spare, and he comes into his own.
Knocks it straight to Murphy, though, to Henderson. Little fumble. McLean sets it up in hope. Thomas stands under it. Good grab.
That was completely off the side of the boot from Brock McLean. I think he tried to kick a barrel off one step. Slewed off the side of the boot. Dale Thomas good enough to use his body and take the contested mark. But the one thing he hasn't done particularly well is kick for goal, Dale Thomas. He's had a couple of opportunities. We saw him kick one out in the full.
It's good body work
Earlier on.
Well, he's due, Jason. We know he's had some issues with his ankle, but he's had a number of opportunities, not that far out, so he doesn't have to overkick the ball. He's got to keep it simple.
The pressure is on to restore a 7-point margin, and all the misses are now forgotten.
An enormous goal under enormous pressure of all sorts. Would have been plenty of demons running through the mind prior to kicking that, because he knows as much as anybody he's expected to kick those goals. He's been missing them for the best part of the season, and yet he has gone back and delivered it. And be a great relief, and it was a great goal given the circumstances.
Talked about how big this game is for both clubs, and Adelaide could push up to North Melbourne spot, but Carlton could be snapping at the heels of those teams in the 8 as well. This is huge.
Jacobs is flying at the moment. Warnock needs to lift and neutralise him.
Dangerfield! Oh! He's pushed forward the gun, kicks around his body, and he misses.
Why on earth would he play on? He's had a brain fade. There's no need to play on.
Just overcooked it.
He got caught up in the moment.
Why play
on?
The adrenaline, Jace.
Yeah, it boggles the mind that such a classy player would do that. But he can go back and have a set shot from 20 metres out, 25 metres out, almost directly in front.
Pressure does strange things, even to champions. And that's a little more central, that kick that he wanted. Adelaide flies but dumps it. Oh, Garlett left it behind. Still a chance. Jacobs reached in and went and got it. Adelaide a floater. The chase on. McKay the spillage. Walker the crumb. Just got his hands free in time.
Yaron's a danger man.
So Yaron to White.
Oh, that was the side.
That was the shank as well. They're away here, the Blues.
Casbolt to Gibbs, and it opens up for Everett. Had to go back and get it.
Nobody chasing.
Adelaide getting numbers back. Everett sized up beautifully. Gibbs from 50, a long launch.
Well, they could have strolled that in because there was no one with the legs to chase from behind for the Crows. They were all too tired. He had all the time in the world, Bryce Gibbs. Probably expect him to finish from there.
Have they got the legs to go forward, Jason?
Taylor Walker edged out of that illegally by Yaron.
That helps. That's a silly free kick under their pressure. Sauce Jacobs has been enormous.
Players love playing well against their old teams, especially those that don't get as much chance to play as he thought he should have got. To the wing. No mark. Hits the deck. Jenkins crunched. Simpson crunched. Everybody getting crunched. It's in the middle of all that, and the umpire will have to sort it out. And we're down to 8:22, and there's 7 points in it. Adelaide 10th, 4 wins, 4 losses. Carlton 14th, 3 wins, 5 losses. And this could be a season-defining moment for both teams.
Got to get some more legs in the middle of the ground. They're 7 points down. Might as well throw a Cameron in there. Somebody who has been playing as a high forward for most of the day. He's going to have some more legs than some of the others that have been flogging themselves for the last 3.5 quarters.
Gibbs with a handball over the top. Armfield the flick back. Murphy. Garlett. White's feeding back. Hartigan with him. Good fist Hartigan. Dangerous spot though.
Got the numbers.
Armfield feeds it out. Doherty. Kick smothered. Martin got in there. Brilliance. Fantastic desperation. Armfield sits it up long, high, goal square. Thomas is there. Menzel's there. Ball hits the deck. Pods is there. Top of the square. White!
Well, you'd think that's just about the sort of gap they need to get home, but I reckon the question's going to be asked, Jared, about James Adelaide. Not a natural defender. Now, he has a chance to come in and do something with this ball. It's there at his feet. He goes to ground, takes himself out of the contest, and then allows the ball to come out.
Well, Jared White has become the man of the moment. Was right around the corner, both himself and Daisy Thomas. The last 2 goals.
Still enough time. 7.5 minutes. Warnock on the deck, gives it up. Dangerfield, who must rue that miss now. Smith toward half forward. Bounces kindly for the Lions. Feeds it on. Eddie Betts is lurking. He's sniffing number 5. He's sniffing an opportunity to keep Adelaide in it. Opens it up to right. Top of the square. Blues with the numbers back. Crunch. McKay knocks it down. Douglas caught a little high. Umpire says play on. Everett to Tui. Bangs it clear. Talia. Good grab.
Speed is there. Ally at the present time. Got to move it in quickly.
He can go.
He can go all the way home.
Oh, it just wouldn't bend for him.
But there's 2 kicks in it precisely. 12 points the margin.
They got the spare here now, the Blues.
Murphy to Doherty. Oh, and he takes some time off. Players look at the big clock, and they're not into time on yet. 19 gone.
Amazed he didn't use Zach Tui.
I'm amazed he didn't go.
Well, they had the opportunity. They had the spare. They could have drawn, run and give it over the top and really put pressure on the Crows to chase, because I don't think they've got the legs to defend the Adelaide Crows.
And a great battle in the ruck. Clearing kick from Lions. Cameron's down there. Betts is down there. Chamis hammers it clear temporarily. Hardigan.
They need to mark inside forward 50, but they've got to get it in there to give their Jenkins and the like an opportunity.
And sits it up. Jenkins flies.
Oh, had it.
Good float in. Martin had a good piece of it. Lays a splendid tackle. 360. Tackle laid. Play on. Dangerfield left that in the end for McKay. Goes long. Oh, you bet. There's a kick in it.
Seems whoever gets the ball forward is doing enough to score. It's just a matter of who's getting the clearances in the middle of the ground and can play the ball into their forward 50. But both defences under enormous pressure. Saw Bryce Gibbs slung in a tackle, just handballed it wildly. He had a couple of goes at this, McKay. Eventually the ball bounced back into his hands and he ran clear inside 50. There's the tackle on Gibbs.
Well, it's a matter of dealing with fatigue right now. Both clubs have got it. Who can deal with it best?
The Blues have had Adelaide at breaking strain twice in this game. Twice they've led by over 3 goals. Twice Adelaide has been on the canvas. 1 kick in it. Jacobs, the fend-off. Kerridge, Martin. They've got a spark. Thompson has a fumble. Flicks that to Martin. Caught. Jacobs.
Jacobs again.
He's been good.
Walker the flick down. Douglas the spin. The turn. Drives it long. Not quite, but they're 1 kick from the lead.
Wow.
It's a 5-point ball game.
There's some pressure out there at the moment.
Going
Every
along with a
contest.
one-on-one.
Thomas.
Did it well. That is a great clearing kick.
Armfield's worked hard here on Dangerfield.
Oh, Danger got a hand in. He is one of the greatest players of the modern generation. He will fight all the way to the death here.
And you know he's carrying an injury.
One last rest on the bench. Bringing on LeBron for the last couple of minutes, maybe to close it out. Douglas toward half forward. Blues have got an extra back. White, little fumble. Jenkins tracks him down. Puts some pressure on. Douglas got a handball, went out of play. Got the benefit of the doubt. Ball in. We're inside 5 minutes. You know he's got one left at him. One last effort.
You can see he's hurting.
Martin.
Let him run.
23 minutes gone. Clearance here could be priceless. Everett jumps in, stops it from happening. Another ball up, but a clearance again.
And the Blues have got Simpson running forward to the pack here. The Crows have just got to acknowledge him. If they let him get the ball going forward, he'll finish up with a goal.
Might only take one clearance, one goal, one hero. We're down to 4.5. 5-point game.
Podge has pushed back to become a defender because Tex Walker's man had taken him into defence. Walker's now gone back to full forward.
And the slap down, Wade going the wrong way, gives it back. McLean, the bounce here is huge. Knocked down, missed the target, still a chance. Laird, they're away there, the Blues. Talia outside of the boot, that can't be deliberate. Ball in.
It's like a pinball there.
And here it comes. Has he got the goal in him that could see Adelaide win? Thompson off the deck. Doherty has been outstanding.
That was well played by Hardigan.
Yeah, used the body, protected the drop zone.
They've got the spare.
Gee, they want to go to the open side too. They're taking it on. They know they need a goal. Good effort, brilliant effort. Laird in the spot, and they're away. That could be the match winner right there. Jens pumps it long. Jenkins, Walker, both there. Bouncing ball. Good fist row. Takes it to the line. Ball in. Not a bad spot for a ball in.
Look out, umpire.
Oh, he has. Oh, my goodness.
He has.
My goodness.
That won't make the Blues supporters happy. He's had a miserable day, Josh Jenkins. 6 possessions, just the 3 behind. Can he kick the screw around the corner here to put the Crows back in front?
They could live and die on that decision. He misses. 4-point game.
Well, it'll be analysed, that call by the umpire, but it would have been analysed a hell of a lot
If he
more
kicked the
goal
goal.
had gone through. Gee.
Oh, that's harsh.
Look at Mick's reaction.
Simpson again.
Possession number 35 coming up. And we're down to 3 minutes.
Yaron's a danger man if they can slide it forward.
Ball to the back to Laird again. Flicks the handball in Podsiadly's direction. He left it behind. Ellard to Casbolt. Can they find a knockout blow, the Blues? McLean and Wright. Good use of the body, Wright left it behind. McLean bangs it long. It's a roller. It's a tumbler. That's a behind that really will advantage Adelaide.
Yep.
It's a 5-point game now and they have possession.
Tired players everywhere.
Probably play on's your best option out of here. You got a midfielder, go for it.
Thompson to himself. Dangerfield's his target. He goes longer. Blues have a 1-on-2. Martin, thump front. Smith. 2.5 minutes left. He drives it long. They've got the numbers here, Adelaide. Martin can go back to right. He's just about cooked, Martin. Wright jumps in, lends a hand. Caught a little high.
Got the free kick.
Play on advantage. Martin to the pocket to Jenkins. Turns his man inside out. It's an unkind bounce. He got a Milne bounce.
Wow.
2 minutes left. Mix on the edge.
Everyone coming back for the Blues. All the players streaming into the defensive 50.
Sandoz on the edge. It could come down to this clearance. Sloan.
A throw.
Oh, Carlton ball.
I'd like to see that again.
One-handed.
Yeah. Oh, no. But you have to punch it from your palm of your hand, so he didn't do that. Yaron.
Says that was a really good handball from Yaron. Just got it in front of McLean and he was able to drag it past.
Touch and go, the Sloan decision was.
Yeah, the rule is you must punch the ball from the palm of your hand. It just looked to be off the palm. Back into play. 2 minutes left in a thriller. Armfield.
Good hands.
Thomas. Simpson. Thomas. Can they think their way through it? Think their way to the win? Thomas. Henderson has the game in his hands.
And he's got a bit of cramp. Take as long as you possibly can. I think that's what the players are telling him. Take your time.
Well, he hasn't had a big day Lockie Henderson. In fact, he's had a very quiet night.
Well, he needs to kick backwards here, boy. He needs to kick it back.
Well, I'd be getting the best kicker in the Carlton side to go and stand next to him and then lie down with cramp.
But if he kicks it behind, at least it draws the worst they can get.
It does get possession back, though. They want the win. That's the only thing that matters to them.
Here he goes. It comes down to this. Out in the full is the worst of all possible options.
He shouldn't have kicked the ball.
Up behind would have been a hell of a lot better than that. Tarley at the barrel. He doesn't know how long left. It floats. Douglas under it. He palmed that down. Long launch. Inside the last minute. It's a 5-point ball game. Adelaide get a goal, they win. McLean. Could be a turnover. Brown attacks it. Thompson, the fend off. Hands it up. Kerridge, can he pick it up? Down to 38. Jenkins under it. Rowe with him. Wide ball. They can't even run.
Eddie Betts was all on his own if that ball had got over the back.
Carlton's season could come down to this clearance. They win this clearance, win this game. They're back in town. Flick back. Dangerfield. Who else? Can they get a mark from this? Jenkins, he's up. One grab, not the second. Sloan.
Had to give the hand.
It's ball.
Handball. Oh, wow. If he gives the handball, they run into an open goal.
Take it back, take it back. You tried to break through. You went there. Take it
The
back,
runner needs to go out and tell them 14 seconds left.
Yeah, they've got a man up, Adelaide. If he gives that handball there, outside to Yench, he probably kicks the goal. Hard to tell.
And he's
Dying
going to say from
seconds,
here,
pressure's
he
on.
haven't done 20 Ks.
Yeah. One pass is all it takes.
The clock ticks. Adelaide are going to be beaten at the death. Kick inside 50. Siren. Oh! On the siren, a marking chance.
Oh.
It hit the deck.
He got hands to it too. That would have counted if he took it.
Mind-blowing finish to a mind-blowing game. Carlton win by 5 points.
Well, Jason, I've got to say it was one of the worst first halves I've seen this season, but the intensity and the excitement of the last quarter made up for a hell of a lot. And here's the final grab. It was in, and then it popped out.
And yet our clock ticked down to 0 just a second or so before he actually attempted that mark. But with the process we've got, the quarter does not end until the umpire hears the siren, blows the whistle and puts his hands in the air. 5 points, the final margin. Cameron Booney.
Kane, mate, how amazing was that? I mean, you guys started the game off pretty well. They kept coming at you, but just looking at you boys, you're so excited about that win.
Yeah, mate, I'm sort of speechless at the moment. Really good win. Really proud of all the boys. We had to really grind it out. They're a quality side. They absolutely demolished Collingwood last week, so we knew it was going to be a tough one, and it was.
How amazing has your month been? I mean, you started the season off really poorly. You couldn't get those wins on the board, but the last month, really growing into something.
Yeah, we feel like we're playing some pretty good footy. Obviously had one slip up against Collingwood, but yeah, 4 out of 5s, it's pretty good, and yeah, it feels like we're building in the right direction.
What about your young forwards down there? Troy Menzel in particular, he started the game so well, but he just looks like such a live wire for you boys.
Yeah, he's a freak. He's going to be an absolute superstar. You see what his brother can do with a bit of luck with no injuries. So yeah, he's going well. He's had a good couple of weeks.
What about you, mate? You won't be able to walk tomorrow with that. How bad was that?
Yeah, it's not hurting at the moment, but yeah, I'm sure after a few hours' time, yeah, I'll be struggling to move.
Okay, go and celebrate, mate. You did well up.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Look at that raw emotion, Cade Simpson, when he heard the final siren. He's run himself to a standstill. 36 possessions, he kicked a goal, had 5 clearances, 3 tackles. Well, raw emotion. That's 4 out of their last 5. The Blues have won. They feel like they're building something.
Yeah, they've got a couple of challenges coming up in the next month and a couple of really winnable games. So they're back on track, the Blues, after a shocking start where they lost their first 4 matches. They're not far away from being in the black. Back down to you, Cameron.
Thanks, Ray. Down here with the skipper, and Murph, it's been a really good month for you guys, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been all right. We probably let ourselves down against Collingwood, but the last month and a bit's been pretty good. So had a few home truths after that Melbourne game, and obviously zipping 4, backs against the wall, and the way the boys have trained hard and responded to last month's been really impressive.
Was that the main catalyst behind all that, the home truths? And love you to tell us all what happened, but I'm sure you won't. But is that what it was all about?
Oh yeah, we were probably letting ourselves down, and I think we've got good enough talent in our list. So yeah, I think the way we've responded, we copped it from everywhere, and it was probably fair enough. And when you play for a great club like Carlton, you've got to do better than what we were doing earlier in the year. And yeah, to the guys' credit, we've really worked hard, and luck's starting to go our way a little bit.
You can't have a good man down, Daisy. He's pretty happy with himself there with that kick, wasn't he?
He's been strutting around, so it's been the first time he's kicked it over a Jempton all year and actually went through, so it was good. So yeah, Daisy's he just works hard, and it's good to see him get a bit of a result there.
Mate, you're leading this team beautifully. Well done, buddy.
Thanks, Moons. Cheers, mate.
Well, that gets them now 4 wins from their last 5, 4 wins for the season. But you just think they've got themselves back in touch with the top 8, Jared.
They play the bottom team on the ladder next week, the Brisbane Lions.
And then they've got Geelong, Hawthorn, GWS. So 2 winnable games, games you'd expect them to win, and then 2 challenges, Geelong and Hawthorn. Then it's Collingwood and St Kilda. So it's their future now, well and truly in their own hands.
Well, the thing is, winning becomes habitual, and you'll start playing better against the better teams because you're starting to think positively that you're going to get the job done. Greater faith in your teammates. You've got the chance to build something.
One of those season-defining moments, perhaps. The Blues are back in the running after a 5-point win in a thriller.